you have a lot of young boys, having probably five baby mamas, and they're so young. And it's like, why that? Like, why can't they focus on trying to build a life? Why do you have to go around chasing women and impregnating them and having multiple, women with different, multiple children with different women? How does that sound?
Let me tell you something about them boys that go out and do that, yeah? Them boys, they come from homes where they're probably the siblings of loads of other kids who have different fathers. So for them to go out and do that is not foreign because they probably come from that family themselves. This isn't rocket science. This isn't nothing
It is
complicated.
actually a rocket science. I could use my life as an example. My dad came from a polygamous family. My dad's siblings, the 11 of them, never married more than one wife.
Do you understand that there's cultural differences? They come from African culture, bro. There is a different system. For the most part, is patriarchal for the most part. So for men to have a certain level of power and have multiple wives, that is a normal run of the mill thing. Women understand that, boom, I could be under this man and he's got other women with other children and it's still got structure to it.
Mm-hmm.
The kids that come out of those families are still under discipline and structure. They know that they can't just go out there, and just mess around and mess their lives up. They know that. But when you're talking about, like, even in the UK as well, because a lot of times people think everything's happening in the US. It's not just the US. It happens here as well. It happens a lot. Yeah. What happens is a lot of these boys that come out from these homes where it's a single mother home, they didn't have a dad to teach them the principles of being a man. They go out in the world measuring their manhood by how many women that they can sleep with. And yes, obviously they're going to sleep with loads of girls and have a lot of baby mamas. But guess what? These girls that come out of these homes are not much better. They don't understand real life either. So they think all they have to offer in this life is their box.
Okay.
They don't even understand a guy that they should give their box to. They just give their box to any guy because he's tall, because he's cute, because he's got a nice car, because he's the captain of the football team, whatever it is. Especially if he's a drug dealer or a thug and he's popular. So for you to say these things, you don't really understand the dynamic. You don't understand. And I'm not knocking you or trying to attack you for it, but I'm trying to make you understand because I'm from African descent as well. I know where you're coming from. Do you get what I'm saying? I lived in the USA, but listen, I lived in the USA for a long time as well. Okay. Most of my friends are Caribbean as well. I know exactly how it works. Do you get what I'm saying? So you can't come out there with your kind of African background, household tradition, structure, and then come out there and judge all the black men there just because black women are complaining. That's not fair.
The black women are complaining quite well. That's true. But what I'm trying to say is that rather than always talking about the problem, which of course I understand where the problem is coming from, the whole systemic racism, the slavery, it has conditioned a lot of the black men here to act a certain way, and it has actually broken the system of family.
It's not just the black men, bro.
Okay, even the black women too.
Black men, bro. Just say black people.
Okay, the black people.
You can't just say certain things and then not apply it to the women as well. That's unfair, especially when you know that women do the same thing too.
Okay.
You see, the fact of the matter is, it's very easy for everyone to critique men. Men get critiqued all the time. And this isn't even the racial side of it. Men, we get thrown the truth in our faces all day long by everybody, from women and other men. But women usually don't have to face the truth. This is why a lot of women have a problem with accountability. Because even though women are doing the exact same thing the men are doing, all the focus is on the men. Oh, you men need to do better. So what about you lot? You can't find a solution. You can't find a suitable solution if only one side is ready to accept a responsibility. It don't work.
So what you're saying is that both the black men and the black woman have to take responsibility of what they do.
Yes. It's a very simple thing. But at the end of the day, from my experience, from me doing YouTube and me talking about, get power, financial, physical, mental, social, everything, and just talking about realities of, if you're a woman, being a single mother is going to be a disadvantage. Being overweight is going to be a disadvantage. Having an attitude is a disadvantage. The only side that seems to always have the most objection is women, bruv. For the most part, when I tell men things that they need to do, they usually don't object at all. They usually just agree, and a lot of times they'll just be very honest and be like, yeah, you're right, I need to do better. You tell the typical black woman, whether she's African, Caribbean, or African American, and she's overweight, and you tell her she's overweight, she needs to go to the gym, she will fight you for that. If you told the typical black woman from whatever nation that she should stop wearing weave, she will fight you for that. But you got to keep it real. There's no instances of a broke black guy and you tell him, well, you know what, you need to get your money up, and he will try and argue about it. It don't exist.
I don't know what else to say. But if based on our discussion right now, it's all about accountability from both parties. So I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying actually. I'm really not disagreeing. Of course,
there's nothing to
everyone
disagree.
is responsible for who.
Because there's nothing to disagree. That's why, bro. The men need to be accountable, yes, and the women need to be accountable as well. It's a very simple thing.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like usually women don't get held accountable very often, and when they do, they fight. And then even a woman like you who doesn't come from, a dysfunctional background, even you are jumping on their defense. This is how it works.
No, I'm jumping on the defense because I see a lot of black women here complain about the same thing always, and it's all about black men doesn't do this, black men doesn't do that, and they always try to compare the black men to the white men, and you can actually see the difference. If black people want to fix their community, then the black men have to lead. They have to come together and fix the problem.
Listen.
Okay, for example,
say that. Listen. It's easy to say that as a woman who doesn't have to do it. It's very easy for women to say things that men need to do when you don't have to do it.
Okay, it's easy for me to say.
Listen to me. Yeah, we are coming from a matriarchal society that's been like this for decades. It's not just as easy as flipping a switch. Oh yeah, now the men are just in charge of everything and the women are just going to, take a back seat. Come on. Even more now than ever, women want to be in charge of everything. You can't even criticize women anymore, really. You can't even be honest with women on public platforms. You can't even be honest with them. Like, how are you going to be able to lead that person? You're going to lead them from behind?
Maybe I'm talking because I don't have to do those things because I'm not really stressed about it because of the background I came from. But when you look at like the Black Lives Matter movement, it was headed by a woman. And most of other movements are usually headed by women. I think the women are actually fed up. They just don't want to do those things anymore. They want men to lead. And the men have to lead.
Then women need to understand to take a back seat. You are not a boss. But a lot of women don't wanna give that up. They're being influenced by female rappers that are coming out saying that they're boss bees and all of this. Like, come on, man. It don't work. All that happens is lots of more baby mamas.
Yeah, so but why can't the men and the black community, especially the men, because the men voices are always very important in the society. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, in African society.
So it's not the same. But I can also see that here in America too.
Really?
Probably not the black men.
Like who, for instance?
You want to tell me there is no patriotic system here in America.
It,
Of
it,
course, there is.
there's no black patriarchy in America or in the UK. There's not. I don't know what you're talking about.
So
Even in other countries, I've had black people, black women in Germany, black women in France saying the same things. Like, what are you on about? Like, you're not to be rude, but you're very narrow-minded.
I'm actually not narrow-minded.
You
I'm
are. Like,
saying that black men.
your scope of things is very narrow. Like, so you're looking at it from your point of view of, oh, why don't they just do this? Why don't they just do? It's not as simple. It's not just flicking a switch. You come from a culture and a country where, yes, that is the norm. That is the tradition, and everybody follows it. Everybody's indoctrinated to do that. But in the West, it's not like that. And another thing you got to understand is the establishment, they deliberately keep it this way. That's why feminism was sold to black women when black women had nothing to do with it. Feminism, what is feminism? Is that in the country of your father's country? Is that running around in your father's country? Yeah. Exactly. It's not. That's what I'm saying. It's a different, this is what I'm saying. It's a different culture, different dynamic, different everything. The men can't just take control like that. It don't go like that.
So how then do you get the black men to lead their community? I'm not talking about lead the country as a
no. I know.
I'm talking about the black community.
First of all, a lot of guys need to like stop chasing women excessively. I tell you, the main part where all these problems come from is a lot of guys, black guys, don't have no direction and no ambition. A lot of black guys don't understand that your manhood is not measured by how many women you can sleep with.
But you see that
because a lot of guys are so obsessed with women, it actually gives women more power in the community. This is the thing. If men were more stoic and more focused on being successful, getting power, and then, coupling up with a quality woman, then things would change. Then there would be more stable homes. Black people in general need to start to steer away from popular media, popular black culture. But that right there is not going to happen. I'm just being real. The majority of black people are fully indoctrinated into the rapper, stripper, promiscuous, materialistic, individualistic, hedonistic lifestyle. And it's not slowing down. So
what are you saying?
All you could do, if you are a smart black man or smart black woman, you're gonna have to separate yourself and look for like-minded people. That's all you can do. Because the majority of black people, wherever you are lost. Everybody can't be saved. When I do these videos and I talk about these messages, I know it's not going to hit enough people. Men need to stop thinking with their little head and use their big head. Stop having sex unprotected with women. Stop just sleeping with any old woman. Stop being so overly focused on women and focus on getting power in your own life, financial, physical, mental, and social, right? So that you have leverage in this world. So you have a stable foundation. So that when you do find a woman that is decent enough to start a family with, you can do it and be in control of the situation. That is where it starts. That's what the individual guy can do. That's all the individual guy can do. He can't change the whole world as one guy. That is what it is. And then on the other hand, women have to play their part as well. Because a guy can't do all of these things and then couple up with a woman who is fighting him every day for power and control because she comes from a single parent household, because all she knows is to be loud and obnoxious and arrogant. It's not going to work.